أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله أوله بلا أول كان قبل وآخره بلا آخر يكون بعد الذي قصرت عن رؤيته أبصار الناظرين وأجزت عن نعته أوهام الواصفين ثم الصلاة والسلام على سيدنا ونبينا حبيب إله رب العالمين أبي القاسم المصطفى محمد وعليه الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين المظلومين سيما بقية الله العظم بقية الله خير لكم إن كنتم مؤمنين ولعنة الدائم على أعدائهم وغاصب حقوقهم ومنكري فضائلهم أجمعين من الآن إلى قيام يوم الدين. أما بعد، كتب عليكم الصيام كما كتب على الذين من قبلك لعلكم تتقون. صدق الله العلي العظيم. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Acceptance of your fast, acceptance of your worship, acceptance of all the services that you all provide in the month of Ramadan. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give you in return in abundance, inshallah. Wa all of us, ghafarallahu lana wa lakum, inshallah. We are looking at the adab, as we said in our last discussion. Adab of dua means that the moral etiquettes, the way to approach dua. In a very nutshell, I will mention what dua is. Dua is actually meeting God, man as such, and God meets us, God as such. If I meet God the way I am in reality, that is, I am faqir. That is, in reality, I am in need of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. For every breath that goes out, that breath to return back, to come back in, I need the help of God. I rely on God. My reliance is on God for that. So therefore, the adab, or the etiquette and the way and the approach of dua, according to the Quran, according to the teachings of Ahlul Bayt alayhim salam, then this way our dua will be answered swiftly, our dua will be answered quickly, and even if it is answered, it will be answered with care and love. Because if a child asks the parent in a rude manner, the parent will give. If a child asks in a manner of morality, of etiquettes, of adab, then obviously the parents will give, but parents will have the respect and honor for the child as well. So there are certain adab of the dua, certain etiquettes of the dua that one should really consider as we are in the month of dua, as we are in the month of Ramadan, in the month of the Quran, in the month by which we connect to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And dua is one of the means by which we connect to God, is one of the modes by which we connect to God. Now, first and foremost in this mode, or in connecting to dua, is that one should be hopeful in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. One should have that hope in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وَادْعُوا خَوْفًا وَطَمَعًا. Seek Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. In Surah Araf, it says with khawf, with fear, with awe, and also tama'an, and with umid. You should have that hope in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And as we know, that being hopeless itself is considered as a sin. In many instances we find that the Prophet أَدْعُوا اللَّهَ وَأَنْتُمْ مُوقِنُونَ بِالْإِجَابَةِ. Seek Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and ask in a way that you will be provided, you will be given with yaqeen and with certainty. You should ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, right? And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will provide. So one should have that certainty and yaqeen. And in another place it says, إِذَا دَعَوْتَ فَظَنَّ حَاجَتَكَ بِالْبَابِ. When you do dua, إِذَا دَعَوْتَ فَظَنَّ, know that or hope that your hajat is at the door. That's how one should really seek dua. One should have husn zan, which means that benefit of doubt. Even if one du'as are not answered, as we said earlier in our previous program, there is certain wisdom of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, hikmat of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And as a matter of fact, the duration of time which is taken to seek a desire of me itself is achieved the nearness and will have the reward for me in the hereafter, whether my hajat is answered or not, regardless of that. Protecting oneself from sins. That is why astaghfar, when you look at du'as, you will always see that in the methodology or the way the du'as is mentioned is that first you will recite a lot of astaghfar. Allahumma aghfir li ad-dhunub allati tahtiku lisam tahbasu ad-du'a tunzilu an-niqam. All of these things we do astaghfar to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. After the astaghfar, we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for our desires. Man ahabba an yustajaba da'awhu falyutayyib mat'amahu wa maksabahu. A person who really desires that one should really du'as should be accepted, mustajab, falyutayyib, for him the mat'am is maksab, what he intakes should be halal, what he is consuming should be halal. It is quite important. If he's consuming that is something haram, then obviously the du'as are not mustajab and are not answered. Like as we said, we are following the text of Malik Jawad Aghai Tabarizi, which is known as Muraqabat, which talks about the amal of the month. So we are going one up. Ya sahib ad-du'a la tas'al ma la yakunu wa la yahillu, and not seeking something that is haram. One should not seek something that is haram. Inna Allah la yastajibu ad-du'a bi-dhahir al-qalb siya'in. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will not accept a dua whose heart is in negligence, is siya. فَإِذَا دَعَوْتَ فاقبل بقلبك وثم استيقن بالإجابة. When you seek dua, so be awake, and then basically your dua will be istajab, will be accepted. So therefore a heart should be awake, a heart should be vigilant, a heart should not be ghafil, forgetful, tired as such, which we'll do a little bit later on as well. See, when we seek Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we really have to see whether is there a truthfulness in terms of my seeking or not. When I am sitting in a dua and asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, like for example in one of the duas that we recite in this month, is that it says that ana min hubbika ja'i'un la ashbah, ana min hubbika dhamana la arwah. It says that ana min hubbika, I have this extreme love and thirst of ishq, of love to you, and this extreme love and thirst, it is not making me fill myself, it is not containing myself, it is not making me satisfied. The amount of love that I have for you, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, is so extreme that I am never getting satisfied with this amount of love, and I'm always thirsty, I'm always hungry for this love aspect. So when I'm sitting with dua, I'm sitting in dua, am I really like this with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that no matter how much I sit with God, I am feeling the thirst? I know but when I look at myself, I'm too busy doing other things, I'm too preoccupied with other things. Am I really speaking the truth when I'm saying that I'm never satisfied with the dua, the amount of dua? But when we sit in a dua, we have bihal, we are so tired, we look for, when will finish, the dua will finish, we turn the pages around, it kind of looks like a burden for us. Are we really sincere? what we are reciting. We are reciting like this, and our heart is saying something else. Our heart is ghafil. Our heart is negligence of what we are reciting. We are just reciting for the sake of reciting. We are just sitting in there because others are sitting. We are just sitting in there because our parents have brought us there, and that is why we are sitting in there and we are reciting. This will perhaps have the element of nifaq, munafiqiyat, that my heart is saying something else, but still I'm reading and reciting what I'm reciting. Now, in the adab of dua, this is very much required, that one should be away from sins. One should really believe in what one is asking, and one should be sincere in what one is expressing. Now, the requirement of tadarri and crying is very important. Crying is one of the means by which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sends His mercy. When we look at, for example, the tear in the eye of a person, when a person is crying, naturally everybody they become kind towards that person. When a child wants something, the child will cry, and the parents will let go because the child is crying. So tears and crying is a way of attracting mercy of God, right? A mercy in general, leave aside mercy of God, mercy in general. Whenever you see something crying, naturally our heart is inclined towards that person. Naturally we would like to attend to that person. So in the same fashion, when we are in a sitting with our Lord, if we cry, that will pull and that will bring about the mercy of God. Now, these tears should be natural. Once again, these tears should be not crocodile tears, not fake tears, crying for the sake of crying, right? Obviously, when you pay attention to the du'as and the meaning that is in there, naturally, our heart will melt. Naturally, we will shiver and shake in front of the sovereignty of the Lord, right? This will happen. So, بين الجنة والنار عقبة لا يجوز منها إلا البكاؤون من خشية الله, as it says that between the Jannah and Dozakh, there is nobody passes through the valley between the Jannah and Dozakh. There's perhaps for a person, in order to enter Jannah, they say that he has to pass through Jahannam. One have to go through Jahannam in order to reach Jannah. All of them. Every person have to go through Jahannam in order to reach Jannah. Jannah. As a matter of fact, this dunya is nothing but Jahannam in itself, right? So we have to go through this dunya, which is like a Jahannam, right? So we have to go through this dunya in order to reach Jannah. Obviously, for a person who is yearning for God, for a person who is in love of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, in love of God, for him the dunya becomes Jahannam. For Majnoon, no matter how much you give him or provide him with a beautiful castle and kingdom and whatnot, you still will, that Majnoon will be in a state of Junoon, will be in pain, because he is far away from Layla. He is far away from his beloved. So it is Jahannam for that person. So this thing also is pointing out to in that direction, that bain al jannah wan nar aqabatun, there is a between Jannat and also between the Jannah and Nar, between the Jannah and hellfire, there is aqaba, there's a path, there's a leverage, there's a pathway that one really have to go through that, and that is la yajuzu minha. It is not, one will not be able to pass through unless or until with buka, with crying and with khashiyya, with the fear of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's what we do here when we are sitting in this Jahannam, which is world with full of injustice taking place, with full of problems and issues that is out there, where the rights been usurped. When we look at how people are being oppressed left and right, what we see, the state of Muslims particularly, unfortunately, we find a Jahannam for us. Imam is not with us, a Jahannam for us, and we cry. We cry out of fear of Allah. We cry out of love of Allah. We cry when we look at this injustice taking place, and we do not have the strength enough to really get rid of the oppressors, get rid of this injustice that is taking place. We really can't do it, so we cry and we seek help from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So this crying is very important. So it attracts that special mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The other thing is that in the question where the du'as is istajab and accepted is the question of seeking forgiveness. One have to seek forgiveness before asking for anything. Astaghfar, one tasbih of astaghfar, astaghfirullah wa atubu ilayh. That is why you would find that our scholars, when they are about to enter their prayer, before saying astaghfirullah wa atubu ilayh, astaghfirullah wa asalahu tawbah, astaghfirullah min kulli dhanbin wa atubu ilayh, innahu kana ghaffara. And we say that, oh Allah, you are ghaffar, you are the one who really forgives the sins. So therefore it is quite important to do astaghfar before entering the dua. Then you have the question of being persistent in seeking. Continuously one must ask for. Every time, every minute, every second, whenever this person gets the worry in the mind, he should say, Ya Allah, please resolve this issue, this problem that I have, that problem that I have. Please send blessings on Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Please forgive my marhumin, increase their daraja. This constant state of connection and constant state of persistent israr, as they say, continuously basically seeking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and knocking the door, as they say that in qadar dar mizanam tas sahib khanara paida kunam. I will knock the door so much so that I am able to really see the sahib khane, so that I am able to see. The other thing in the elements that will help acceptance of dua is not to have hope in people, but to have hope in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah is the one who gives. Dua sirru ya'adilu sab'ina da'watan fil alaniyah. As they say, dua which is hidden, which is in a secret, it is better than 70 duas in public. You do 70 calls. Now this could mean two things. One is that dua means a call. When you call 70 times help from people public, this is not good. But that dua of secret and seeking from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is much better than that, right? Or it could be that a dua that you do it between you and your Lord, that dua, for example, is much better, 70 times much better than the dua that is done in public, openly. The other narration which says that a dua that is done while standing up. Usually we tend to sit in when we are doing dua, but a dua when a person does when he is standing, that dua is something that is accepted. It is better that a person stands up and dua. And also in jamaat, meaning that in a group, a person who does dua while standing up in a group of 40 or so, as they say that this 40 figure is very important. It is very important. It is istajab, it is accepted. With utmost humility, humbleness, and fear of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's how a person should really seek Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. As Allah says to, O Musa, every time you seek me, when you come to me in fear, come to me shaking, come to me with khashiyya, with khushu. See, khushu and khudu, there are two things which is needed in dua. Khudu is humbleness, and this humbleness could be a person could act being humble, but in terms of his heart, he's not khashi. Khushu, which means that inner fear or awe, it pertains to the heart. Khushu is of the heart. Khudu, which is humbleness, is zahir. So we have to seek Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with khudu, which is with tawadu, with humbleness, and at the same time the humbleness of the heart, which is khushu. Khushu is more important. A person could be seeking humbly, but in terms of his heart, he is not with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, right? So then that could be a problematic. So therefore, Allah says to Musa, Allah says to Isa, O Isa, seek to me in a way as you are drowned in need. You know, you are restless. That's the way to really seek our dua. You know, if calling out loudly, nudba, that's why you call it nida, right? Doing that as well. You know, this could be done when a person is by himself, perhaps. But as we said, that is also one of the adab of dua, that standing up and in public. Durood, which means sending salutations and blessings upon Muhammad wa ali Muhammad, as it says that ma fil mizan shay'un athqal min as-salawati ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Ma fil mizan, on the mizan there isn't anything that will be heavy than the salawat on Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. So recitation of salawat on Muhammad wa ali Muhammad is very important, and it accepts the dua. You know, when a person recites salawat, it is beginning of dua, end of dua, because when Allah looks at a dua is coming with the beloved name, with the name of the Ahl Bayt in the beginning, and with the name of the beloved Habib in the end, with the salutations in between, you know, He accepts it. He answers to the call of it by dua, by acceptance. Now, another philosophical point of view in regards to salawat is that when a person is reciting salawat, obviously, because he or the creation has been created from the nur of Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Everything came from the nur of Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. So when we send salutations on Muhammad wa ali Muhammad, eventually this salutation returns back to us. When I'm saying, may God's blessing be Muhammad wa ali Muhammad, we came into being, into existence from that nur. The creation have been created from the nur of Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. So eventually this blessing returns back to us. So that element of salawat is there, right? So it is quite important to have that. It is quite important to have friends who are mu'mineen, so that they do dua as well for us. Inna awthaqa ura al-iman al-hubbu fillah. One of the things that is very much recommendable, which is very good, which has been regarded as heavy, is that iman in the hub fillah, loving someone for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Hal al-imanu illa al-hub fillah wal bughdu fillah. Is iman other than love in the way of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and disliking in the way of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? So loving a mu'min and mu'mineen seeking dua for you, Allah is also one nukta or point which Malik Jawad Agha Tabridi looks at it. Raising the hands in dua, it is important. for the istijab, for the acceptance of dua, that one must really raise hands. They say that one of the reasons why we'll do dua, raise our hands like this, is that the angels will come and will take the dua from our hand. It goes from here, and that's why when the angels touch our hand, we wipe our face, because these angels have touched our hand. So it's a way of presenting it. A person really presents it. Doing dua in sajda, sajda is prostration, as Prophet says in the khutbah Sha'baniyah as well, that do long sajdas, because your back is burdened with sins. With long sajdas, get rid of these sins. Doing long sajdas, yes, maybe you cannot do sajda on the ground, you can use the intention of sajda, you can hold the sajdaga or the turba and you can put it on your head. So therefore doing long sajdas is very important, and it is one of the qualities of Abidin, and that's why we find Sayyidus Sajidin. Imam Zainul Abidin has been given the title that he was Sayyidus Sajidin. That's why we find a lot of material that we have today in regards to dua that comes from our fourth Imam, Sayyidus Sajidin, doing long sajdas. Then another point, which is to have a ring in one's hand. From Imam Sadiq alayhi salam, he says that a ring should be worn, a ring of aqiq should be in the hand, and then that should be raised towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and Allah will not reject the dua. And obviously the ring of aqiq is because that this agate aqiq have accepted the wilayat of Ali ibn Abi Talib alayhi salam first. That's why it's mustahab. Giving sadaqah, the duas is accepted by giving sadaqah. Proper timing, one should really have in munajat, in khutbah Sha'baniyah, the Prophet says that the hours of prayer are the hours of istijabat of dua, of acceptance of prayer. Raise your hands in prayer at the time of hours of prayer. So there's a crunch time, there's a very crucial time, there's a very important time that one should do dua. Eve of Jummah, day of Jummah, these are very important time where duas are accepted. Between the Zuhr and Asr of a Wednesday, it's been mentioned by Malik Jawad Agha Tabrizi. At the time of Isha, for example, it's been mentioned that that the dua is accepted. So therefore there are certain important timings by which the duas are accepted, inshallah. I think we'll stop here because and also now we talked about the time. Let's just end up with a makan. A place is also very important. Makan munasib, Malik Jawad Tabrizi says. That's why we find in the seerah of Ahl Bayt, in the methodology, the way, the akhlaq of Ahl Bayt alayhim salam, they had a special place for prayers. They will pray in that room or on that spot all the time. So makan is also very important, place is also very important, zaman is also very important for the acceptance of dua. Inshallah, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, these are the times of acceptance of duas, because every breath of a person who is fasting is considered as ibadat. So therefore, with a mouth which is fasting, if we seek Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's forgiveness, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will forgive us for the sake of Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. He will forgive our marhumin for the sake of Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Increase their daraja for the sake of Muhammad wa ali Muhammad, inshallah. Tawassul to Ahlul Bayt alayhimus salam is one of the keys of paradise, one of the keys of acceptance of dua, inshallah. Ghafar Allahu lana wa lakum. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. We will see you tomorrow again, same time, inshallah. Thank you very much for being with us. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.